Good afternoon. Toronto police say a man wanted in connection with a 2022 homicide is also wanted in connection with another shooting.
They are appealing for the public's assistance to locate the suspected shooter. And CP24's Steve Ryan has been following this investigation. He joins us live now with all the details. Steve.
On July the 28th, the officer in charge of the homicide investigation released an artist's rendering of the suspect, and he said today that they received multiple tips as a result with regards to the possible identification of this person. Now, this had to do with a murder back on November the 12th, 2022. A 31-year-old man was in his car in a parking lot plaza near Midland and Passmore when he was shot and killed. So today at this press conference, the officer in charge released this artist rendering of the suspect, and we heard more information about a second occurrence that they believe this same suspect is responsible for. Here's the officer in charge.
As a result of the information we have received, I can now announce that we believe the suspect goes by the first name Jay. Today, we are asking for the public's help in identifying Jay and helping us determine his full identity. We are also releasing additional security footage that we believe is significant to this investigation. The footage is of an attempted murder that occurred in the same parking lot in the Midland Avenue and Passmore area. On March the 10th, 2023,
It's a great example of how the police can work through mass media and get their message out to the public when it comes to looking for the identity of a suspect. And this is a case that the officer in charge credited that information getting out to the public. He thanked the public personally and said that it was as a result of their cooperation that they are further now ahead in identifying who this suspect was for the homicide, and now, as you heard, for an attempted murder as well. Send it back to you guys.
CP24, Steve Ryan, live outside police headquarters. Thank you. A man has been taken to hospital following a stabbing downtown. This happened shortly after 8 a.m. in the area of Yonge and Bloor. The man is in hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say they're searching for a male suspect in connection with this stabbing. The suspect described as having a heavy build and a black beard. Police are asking anyone with information to come forward.
A man is fighting for his life in hospital following a head-on collision in Brampton. Emergency crews were called to the area of McLaughlin Road and Queen Street just after 3:30 this morning for reports of a crash. A man was taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries, while a woman suffered non-life-threatening injuries. An investigation into the cause of the crash is ongoing. Meanwhile, no injuries have been reported after shots were fired outside a home in Brampton. Police were called to the address in the area of Hurontario and Gillingham Drive just after 12:30 a.m. A number of shell casings were found at the scene. Police say the incident appears to be isolated and there's no threat to public safety. They have not provided any details about possible suspects.
One person has been seriously injured in a crash involving a motorcycle in North York. It happened just before 2 a.m. in the area of Wilson and Elrose Avenue. A motorcycle colliding with another vehicle. A man was taken to hospital with serious, non-life-threatening injuries. The cause of this crash is not yet clear.
A 27-year-old Toronto man has been arrested in connection with a sexual assault investigation in Ottawa. Gregory Binns is accused of sexually assaulting a woman he met on the online dating app BLK. He's charged with sexual assault by choking and forcible confinement. Durham police are concerned there may be more victims. And York Regional Police are asking for help and the public's help to identify a sexual assault suspect in Richmond Hill. They've released images of a suspect who's accused of attempting to sexually assault a woman in the area of Highway 7 and Bayview on Wednesday afternoon. Police are asking anyone with information to come forward.
Toronto Fire says one person has been injured in another blaze involving lithium-ion batteries. The fire began in a home on Cherrywood Avenue near Bathurst and St. Clair. Just after 8 p.m. yesterday, one person was treated for smoke inhalation. This comes after several other recent fires involving lithium-ion batteries earlier this week. Toronto Fire Chief Jim Jessup has repeatedly called for stricter regulations regarding the batteries.
Still to come, Conservative MPs are expressing concerns about Pierre Poilievre's leadership. We'll have more on the recent comments MPs have made to CTV News a little later in the newscast. Well, Premier Doug Ford was in Guelph yesterday unveiling what he's calling Ontario's data center playbook.
It comes as the province faces an influx of interest, while many municipalities are considering hitting pause on these types of projects. CTV's Alexandra Hollick reports.
This 230,000 square foot facility in Guelph stores some of Ontarians' most important information. From driver's licenses to health cards to time served in the province's prison system, the data lives here, and the provincial government plans to keep it that way.
We want to have sovereign data. We don't want to rely on President Trump getting his paws all over it.
With the sound of computer servers whirring in the background, Premier Doug Ford unveiled his government's data center playbook Thursday. It outlines how the province will tackle new data center projects, sticking to 3 pillars: advance economic development, protect data security and digital sovereignty, and invest in communities and earn public confidence. But public confidence is where critics say the framework falls short. Concerns over potential environmental impacts of AI data centers have some municipalities pressing pause or moving to ban the facilities altogether.
I find it, I guess, hypocritical. You can't say I don't want it in my backyard, but by the way, we're going to use all that power and all the information and the data centers to run my community.
Ford taking a jab at those against the facilities, calling them misinformed.
Do your due diligence, do your research. Data centers have been around for decades.
As part of the proposed policy, data centers will be required to bear the full cost of the electricity they use.
So no costs are passed on to the hardworking Ontario families. Ontario will not offer financial incentives to attract investments.
With more than 100 data centers across the province and even more on the way, Ford emphasized his government's plans to prioritize projects that would see Canadian data stored in Canada and not south of the border.
Ontario has a choice. We can build the economy of the future and ensure Canadians' data remains in Canada and out of President Trump's hands, or we can get left behind and risk Canadians' data being sent down to the U.S., where only President Trump, God knows what he will do with it. I don't trust that guy as far as I can throw him.
Members of the public have the next 30 days to give their input on the province's playbook. The final version will be released in tandem with Ontario's AI industrial strategy this fall. Alexandra Hullick, CTV News, Guelph.
The Ontario Honda Dealers Indy kicks off today, and the race is being held in Markham for the very first time.
What used to be the Roar on the lakeshore has been relocated as a result of the FIFA World Cup. CTV's John Musselman joins us live now from Markham with more on the event. John.
Well, hi, Sean. Yeah, we're trackside here, but there are some issues going on here with the Markham Indy. There's been no cars on the tracks yet this morning. As you can see, they're still setting up the track. We were told by somebody associated with the racing that they're still putting some of the tires out and the concrete blocks around the hairpin. So that's why there's been a delay. We'll just show you again. You can look over. The track is in no way ready for racing, it appears, and we're waiting to get an update to find out. Now, if you pan over here, you can see this is a free Friday event, but the grandstands are full. People are waiting to see some racing, but there's been nothing so far. So we're hoping to get an update from Indy officials and the Markham Indy about what's going on here. The schedule had racing this morning from some of the lower series, but there's been nothing there yet. And the Indy cars are scheduled to go at 3 o'clock this afternoon. So for now, it's a holding pattern. There are thousands of people here in the grandstands and also in the fan zone. It's also packed with people. They're all coming towards the track, but right now nothing is going on this track, and we'll have to wait and see what happens as this develops. But here we did speak to some fans earlier today coming out to the event. Here's what they had to tell us.
I'm just looking forward to seeing some races, some action. I think it's practice mostly. I think there's one qualifying. I got tickets to the paddock, so I'm hoping to see some drivers, get some photos, get some signatures, that kind of stuff.
I love all the cars, the Indy cars racing and all the NASCAR and the fun and the vibe and all of that stuff.
Have you seen this before? Have you taken in the Honda Indy before?
No, I've never gone there in person, but I have watched it on TV, and I'm very excited to see it.
It's our first time here ever at these races. I think it's going to be beautiful. Look at the ambiance here. It's fantastic.
So we'll try to get an update on what's happening here. All we can tell you, there's been no racing on this track yet. This is the first time this event has been in Markham. For years it was down on the lakeshore, so maybe there's some growing pains. We're not sure yet. We'll try to get those answers. Reporting live from Markham, I'm John Musselman. I'll send it back to you.
No, we know you're on it. Thank you, John. Meanwhile, GO Transit is running extra trains on the Stouffville line to get attendees to the Indy via Unionville GO Station. Planned construction on the Barrie line means trains will be replaced by bus service tomorrow and Sunday, only going as far south as Highway 407 station. And Kitchener trains will only run between Mount Dennis and Mount Pleasant stations. Buses are available further west and will replace Up Express service from Union to Pearson Airport. There's also a note for subway riders heading into this weekend. Starting tonight, there will be no service on the TTC's Line 1 between Shepherd West and St. Clair West. This closure will last until the end of service on Sunday. It's the result of planned track work. Shuttle buses will run in place of trains for this duration. Regular service due to resume at 6 a.m. Monday.
More news in a moment, but first, here's a live look at Center Island on this beautiful afternoon. Lindsay Morrison joining us with a look at the current conditions. Lindsay, it's gorgeous today. We've only got a little bit of summer left, though.
It's true. We got to soak up these precious weekends while we have them, Sean. So much going on in our city and around the GTA. So weather-wise, this is a pretty nice kickoff to the weekend, I think, anyway. Lots of sunshine out there. In Toronto, 26 degrees this hour, feeling more like 30. We're not expecting it to feel quite as humid today as it felt yesterday. There was a real mugginess in the air through the afternoon. Winds are light, so you're not going to find a whole lot of relief from those. And on the satellite and radar, we're dry for the time being around the GTA. We expect most areas will remain that way, but we are watching a little bit of initiation here in eastern Ontario with some showers and thunderstorms potentially moving through. But yes, a big day today in the city of Markham, and weather-wise, it looks like it's going to be hot. If you're venturing out to Fan Day at the Honda dealers Indy, don't forget the water bottle, the hat, or the sunscreen. We'll take you through the weekend forecast coming up. For now, though, Michelle, I'm going to send it back over to you.
I look forward to it. Thank you, Lindsay. The province says around 60 additional firefighters from Mexico are set to arrive over the next day or two to join teams battling a trio of wildfires northwest of Lake Nipigon. This comes as 2 new fires were confirmed across northwestern Ontario yesterday. 95 are burning there, 11 deemed out of control. In the northeast, 2 new fires were identified, although one is already extinguished. 44 wildfires are burning across that region, one considered not under control.
In British Columbia, there's still no word on when people who were forced by their homes by the Bald Range wildfire can return home. The fire, which covers an area of nearly 200 square kilometers, forced thousands of people from their homes in Summerland. However, the only route through the area, Highway 97, has reopened with limited hours. Those who live in communities near the fire say they're struggling with the smoke.
Wear a mask and try not to do anything too strenuous. It is definitely hard to get anything done. It makes it tough to sleep, too.
Already popped a couple Advil, but I'm feeling better now at least.
I have a hard time breathing with the smoke, and I instantly started to have chest pains and headaches.
Many evacuees are staying in Penticton, which is currently under an orange air quality warning.
Canada Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc and Chief Trade Negotiator Janice Charette are set to brief provincial and territorial ministers today on their ongoing discussions with their U.S. counterparts in Washington.
What's happening with these talks, Minister?
So we're continuing to do the important work that Canadians expect us to do.
The Canadian officials met with U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer for about 90 minutes yesterday, a half hour longer than expected. Earlier this week, sources told CTV News that Charette had warned American officials that if the White House goes ahead with its proposed 50% tariffs on August 19th, further trade talks could be put at risk. Ontario's finance minister was asked about the negotiations this morning.
The car industry itself in the U.S. is advocating to the White House that these tariffs are putting extra costs on their businesses. So why are we hurting American businesses with these tariffs? Why are we hurting and increasing prices for American consumers? And why are we hurting Ontario workers and businesses? Let's have a win-win trade deal that's in the interest of the United States and Canada.
The 50% tariffs would apply to a wide range of Canadian goods and industries. As Canada and the rest of the world search for stable, reliable sources of energy, the demand for nuclear power is growing.
Now, a mine is being built in Saskatchewan, which aims to become one of the largest producers of uranium in the world. CTV's Allison Bamford reports.
A bird's-eye view of Canada's uranium hotspot. The Athabasca Basin in northern Saskatchewan is rich with energy sources.
The uranium in Saskatchewan is a planetary geology anomaly.
The highest grade uranium deposits in the entire world are found here. Ground officially broke on the next-gen Rook 1 project that will one day mine the ore on the Patterson Lake Peninsula, 640 kilometers north of Saskatoon.
The mine's just the platform for a far bigger objective.
Once operational, the uranium mine could become the largest in the world, producing 30 million pounds of uranium each year.
In terms of the power scale that this project's going to produce, it's the equivalent of powering 46 million homes annually.
Construction here comes as global demand for nuclear energy is at an all-time high. Canada is already the second largest uranium producer in the world, and Ottawa has big aspirations of expanding domestic generation, global exports, and large-scale reactors.
This is Saskatchewan, part of Saskatchewan's contribution to Canada becoming an energy superpower. And it's projects like this that are going to increase Saskatchewan's global presence in that space.
At the site, the workforce will more than triple during construction, employing over 1,000 people, many from local communities.
I've always maintained that when you have development of this sort, that we must maximize benefit to the local communities that are impacted by this particular mine located in their backyard.
Construction is expected to take 4 years, with production anticipated to start in late 2030. But even after that, geologists say there are decades worth of exploration left at the Athabasca Basin. Allison Bamford, CTV News, Fort McMurray, Alberta.
A number of Conservative MPs are privately expressing concern about Pierre Poilievre's leadership. Some caucus members have told CTV News they don't think Poilievre will be the party leader when the next federal election is called. The MPs were responding to questions about recent polls conducted by Nanos, commissioned by CTV News. It found that respondents felt Prime Minister Mark Carney had no obvious challenger among Conservative politicians. CTV's Jeremy Charon has been following this story and joins us now live with more. Jeremy, good to have you here.
Yeah, good to be here, Sean.
So what more can you tell us about this feeling, I guess, some MPs are having that Poilievre may be on the way out?
Yeah, well, CTV News spoke with 17 Conservative caucus members, Sean, about this, specifically, as you touched on, about that Nanos poll conducted for CTV News. And all but 2 of them agreed with the findings of that survey, which was that there is no Conservative candidate that could take on or beat Mr. Carney in an election. And so, really, this is, gauging how caucus feels, in a way. At least the 17 caucus members CTV News spoke with. And several have concerns about Mr. Poilievre's leadership and the future of his leadership. And some believe he won't be the leader of the Conservative Party come the next federal election. Now, when you start to look at, across the country, different regions and how MPs are feeling, caucus members are feeling throughout the country. In Ontario, there is a sense of concern among some Conservative caucus members about, how the party is faring in the province. Concern that traditional Conservative voters that would normally support the Conservative Party have drifted to support Mr. Carney instead, and concerned that if there was an election sooner than later, the party could suffer, a less than good result in the province of Ontario. When you go to the Atlantic part of the country, what some MPs are saying is that they feel as though there's a crater of support in that part of the country, that Mr. Poilievre is not popular when they're knocking on doors. People don't like him. And so that is a challenge for sure for Conservative caucus members in Atlantic Canada. When you look at the western part of the country, that is where Mr. Poilievre still has, the most support among caucus. 2 caucus members CTV News spoke with from the western part of the country are still squarely behind him, believe he is the leader that should remain into the next election, that can beat Mr. Carney. But there is concern in that part of the country, too. One western MP told CTV News that he feels as though Mr. Poilievre should consider resignation, and that there are caucus members that are concerned about whether they can win or retain their seat, I should say, in the next federal election, even those in western parts of the country. So really this is, Sean, an idea of perhaps the challenges Mr. Poilievre could face within his caucus when the House resumes at the end of September.
And it's an interesting place that the Conservatives are in because, as we know, in the last election, they had a large percentage of the popular vote, a number of MPs in the House. But since that time, we've seen the Liberals gain people from floor crossings and really strengthen their position. And I guess the question is, there's now a few by-elections coming at the end of the month. How could those impact Conservatives?
Yeah, I think, many will be watching very closely the results in these by-elections, but, the way one Conservative MP from Ontario put it is that there is one riding in particular that could be, a very clear indicator of Mr. Poilievre's future, and that riding is Brantford. Larry Brock is the Conservative MP that holds that seat. He will be resigning. The by-election has not been called yet for the riding, but there is belief that that could be a riding to watch because it has been Conservative since 2008. And if the Conservatives aren't able to hold on to that riding, this MP believes it could be a bad signal and could mean that Poilievre's leadership is in danger, kind of like what we saw in Toronto St. Paul in the Liberal Party in 2024, prior to the demise of former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his eventual resignation. The Liberals were not able to hold on to that riding in a by-election. It flipped Conservative, and it was kind of the start of the downfall of Mr. Trudeau. Some believe that could be the case for the Conservatives in Brantford if they are to lose that by-election.
Interesting times in Canadian politics for the leadership of the Conservatives as well. CTV's Jeremy Chiron joining us today. Thank you very much.
Yeah, anytime.
Crews across Europe are battling multiple wildfires as record heat continues to grip the continent. In northern Italy, 100 firefighters worked through the night to stop a vast forest fire from reaching an inhabited area. A number of residential buildings reportedly were evacuated as a precaution. Numerous countries are struggling to tackle wildfires, including France, Spain, Germany, Greece, Belgium, and Croatia, where one person was killed and 14 people were hospitalized. The historic temperatures are hitting nations not equipped for this sort of heat.
The largest airport on the Italian island of Sicily is closed for a 5th straight day. It's because of the ongoing eruption at Mount Etna. Volcanic ash can be a great risk to aircraft because it can be sucked into the engines and force them to stall. The big mountain is also spewing lava and sending huge plumes of smoke into the air. And the eruption is showing no signs of slowing down. 700 flights have been canceled since a week ago when the volcano started releasing ash. Hundreds of people remain stuck at Catania's airport trying to find other ways to get to their destinations during Italy's busiest travel week of the year. The airport will stay closed until at least early tomorrow.
We are following breaking news at the Ontario Court of Appeal, which has sided with the Ford government in the years-long dispute over Toronto bike lanes. The province passed legislation allowing the removal of bike lanes along Bloor, Yonge and University. Back in 2024, cycling advocates filed a charter challenge that won in Ontario's Superior Court. But that was challenged by the Ford government, and a 3-judge panel at the appeals court today ruled that the lower court had acted incorrectly and it was illegitimate for courts to involve themselves in what was a matter of legislative policy. So what this means is that it reverses that decision, allowing the province to rip up 19 kilometres of bike lanes. We'll have ongoing reaction to this development on CTV News at 5 and 6. A man from New Zealand has completed a canoe journey from Alberta to Quebec in an effort to document Canada's wilderness.
But along the way, he says he learned a valuable lesson or two about the people who live across the country. CTV's Yonge St reports.
Along a solo adventure through the Great White North.
What a surreal moment. My first few paddles.
Tom Hudson discovered Canada's landscapes, but postcards of human nature shaped his travels.
Canadians, I tell you what, I frickin' love you guys.
Hudson's journey began years before in New Zealand.
I worked in construction, I had a house, I had a mortgage, and one day I woke up with my alarm to go to work, and at that moment it just hit me very, very hard. You're not following your heart. Let's go. I sold everything. I sold my house, I gave all my things away.
And he found joy from the Rockies to the East Coast in the most Canadian way, paddling a canoe.
You hadn't canoed before?
No, never canoed before in my life. I wanted to do something that I've never done, and then I wanted to do it in a big way.
Oh, The wilderness proved majestic but fierce. On the 4th day, he capsized.
Hey!
My whole canoe went down the river. There was nothing I could do about it, and it was just me standing on the bank with nothing, just wet clothes.
And then he met Josh and his family camping nearby.
He's wet, he's cold. Let's get him in a dry set of clothes.
And I thought I was going to showcase nature and the landscape and fishing and, you know, but really what I showcased was how incredible the Canadian people are.
Hudson traveled 216 days over a couple of years, chronicling his journey on YouTube to finance his travels. He was running a little low on money, passing through Manitoba, thinking of pausing his journey when he came across Ivy, a 14-year-old lost dog stuck in the mud. He brought Ivy along and found her owner further along the river.
You silly old dog.
Now, that moment captured the hearts of many, drawing followers, and so saving Ivy saved his journey.
Everyone was standing along this wall.
On the 216th day, he paddled into Old Montreal, his destination. He was welcomed by followers, but also by some of the Canadians he'd met along the way. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
Well, if you're making a journey across our great province today, you are going to find a little bit of active weather this afternoon in eastern sections of Ontario. But here in Toronto, it looks to be mostly dry, and it's sunny out there too. We are at an 8 on the UV index. Tonight, we expect a partly cloudy sky. Tomorrow looks brilliant if you're doing some camping or heading to the cottage. Mix of sun and cloud for the day on Saturday, but Sunday, much like here in the GTA, we have to talk about the possibility of showers. It's not expected to be a washout. However, we'll detail the timing of it coming up here on CTV News at noon. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
The Upfront Festival is a celebration of Indigenous arts, music, and culture, and it all begins today. It's all taking place at Birksea Park, which is where we find Jessica Smith. Jess?
Hi, Sean. It is going to be a fabulous weekend, and I'm joined by two really incredible people. I have Candace Scott-Reid and Don T. Miracle, but I want to start with Candace. So much of this weekend includes culture, but it also includes music. Explain to me what people can expect when it comes to sharing culture through song and through performance.
Yeah, so this weekend here at Upfront Festival, which is the 3-day, it's a free outdoor festival full of all the experiences. But with the music, we have Dreezes, an award-winning performer. We have Crystal Shawanda, like the soulful blues, country music, and our closing night, we have Tom Wilson, all of whom are going to share their experiences. And our music is about storytelling through the music, who we are, what we've done, where we're going. Like, it's incredible. So, and if you've never seen Indigenous music, if you've never heard Indigenous music, well, this is the place where you're going to experience all of it.
And I feel like we were talking just before we came on camera, there's a mix of different styles as well. I mean, we all know the youth, they love hip hop. And you've got a lot of that going on this weekend, but there's also more traditional. Why have that mix in the performances this weekend?
Well, it's important because as Indigenous people, we are diverse. We have a lot of different stories to tell, our different genres. We have, so Don Omero's coming from Winnipeg, right? And he's got his own style of music. And Dreezes, who's flown in from Calgary. And we've got people from Six Nations. We've got all of these different nations, and we have different styles of music to be able to showcase and share those different experiences and who we are, and just being able to tell stories with different beats, of course. And yeah, just like we're a diverse people, so our music is diverse as well.
I love to see it. And Don, I want to ask you, this has been going on, this is year number 3. That's a big, accomplishment to get to. What can people expect from the cultural side, and who is this for? Because speaking from experience from Caribana, you want to bring people who are outside of that culture in to help them understand, but what is this all about and who is it for?
Absolutely. This year it's even a bigger festival than it's ever been before, and we're hoping to find something that's going to be exciting for people of all different ages, from all different cultures as well too. Our festival is not just music. which a lot of people think it is, but it's music, arts, and culture. So we also have incredible family programming for people of all ages, and that family program is primarily 10 to 2 on Saturday and Sunday. We have puppet shows. We have powwow dance workshops when people of any age can learn some of the powwow dances and what they mean. We also have the kitchen table talks on Saturday and Sunday at 1 and 3 on Saturday and 1 on Sunday. And those kitchen tabletops, we have our authors Adriana Sutherland. We also have Donna Merrow, who's also written a children's book. And we also have Adriana Chartrand as well, too. And so there's something for the literary. In our marketplace, there's also all kinds of art and practical and fun things that people are selling right here in Bursey Park as well, too.
There's so much going on. We will have more tonight at 5 and 6 on everything you need to know. I want to thank both of you so much. It all goes on this weekend, and it is my favorite place to attend, which is free. Come and check it out. Celebrate the culture, the community, the music, the art, everything. For now, I'll send things back inside to the studio.
Thank you, Jess. Thank you, ladies. Don't you just love summer in the city? They teed that up beautifully. It looks like so much fun, and I'm just pumped for them that the weather is beautiful today, beautiful tomorrow. We've got good weather on tap this weekend. Could it get a little unsettled? Not yet.
No. Yeah, well, I mean, you know the rain's going to come, but I mean, let's focus on today, Saturday.
Yeah.
That can make enough for a good weekend.
I'm thinking about last Saturday and just how unsettled it was. This one, nice change of pace. It feels so nice to be able to forecast a great-looking weekend forecast, that's for sure. Sunday, bit of a question mark as far as showers and the timing of their arrival. Might impact your plans slightly, but it is not expected to be a washout of a day. And let's talk about next week as well. Weather is brought to you by the Presler Law Firm Injury Lawyers. You don't pay unless they win. This is a live look at our city skyline right now. We've got loads of sunshine out there. Now, I've been saying that it's going to be a dry day, and we expect that it is in most areas, but I'm going to begin here with a look at the satellite and radar because we are seeing a little bit of thunderstorm activity right now, predominantly in eastern sections of Ontario, around Pembroke and Calabogie, but also starting to see some showers develop around parts of Cottage Country, around Lake Simcoe, Lake Couchiching. Some of these could slide their way southward and perhaps impact the north or east end of the GTA, so just a bit of a heads up on that. Little bit of cloud has developed around the city of Toronto, but across southwestern Ontario, it's looking dry. For now, things do change for you in the extreme southwest into the day tomorrow. Saturday is looking sunny, dry, and pretty spectacular temperature-wise. It's going to be a little more comfortable for spending time outside, that's for sure. All right, forecast radar. So this is around 2:30 p.m. Once again, a similar area to yesterday, looking at the possibility of wet weather and maybe some thunderstorms. So that includes parts of Peterborough County over toward the Kingston area. But look at that, forecast radar indicating maybe a pop-up shower or two around Toronto. It clears out for tonight. We're expecting a dry evening and overnight. Saturday, again, looking great. There's 1 p.m. into Sunday. First, we're going to start to increase the cloud cover, and then showers look like they could be impacting some areas in the mid-afternoon and into the early part of the evening. So might miss the big race for the Honda Dealers Indy. That would be great. But again, for your Sunday, I wouldn't go ahead and cancel any outdoor plans right now. But as always, it helps to have a backup indoor option just in case thunder roars and you do have to head indoors. 26 degrees right now feels more like 30. A look at our almanac for today. 26 degrees is also our seasonal norm. Sunset time tonight, 8:23 p.m. It'll be a partly cloudy overnight with a forecast low of 16 degrees. Tomorrow, the King's Plate happening. And again, weather's looking great. 24 degrees for a high, so a little cooler than we've been the last couple of days. And that is true for many different cities across southern, southwestern, central, and eastern parts of Ontario. Nice looking Saturday weather. Sunday, again, the chance of showers, 25 degrees for a daytime high, remaining warm through the overnight hours at 20. And then next week, a couple of days are going to offer us the possibility of showers Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tuesday at this point is looking pretty nice. Lots of sunshine and a high of around 27. But it looks like we will be slightly cooler to finish off next week. That's the weather for now. Michelle, over to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. The Blue Jays will look to get back in the win column tonight as they begin a weekend series with the New York Yankees.
Deep to left field. McAdoo back, and it's a grand slam.
Well, the Jays were looking to sweep the Red Sox out of town yesterday afternoon. However, Boston ended up beating Toronto 7-0, snapping the Jays' 3-game win streak. Toronto currently sits 2 games out of the final playoff spot in the American League. Shane Bieber is due to start for the Jays tonight with first pitch set for 7:15 at Rogers Centre.
Still to come, WestJet has settled a class action harassment lawsuit. We'll have the details when we come back. WestJet has agreed to pay $4.5 million in a settlement in a class action sexual harassment lawsuit. The suit was brought forward by flight attendants in 2016. According to the lead plaintiff and her lawyer, more than 3,000 flight attendants are involved. They allege that WestJet failed to provide a safe workplace, with one allegation of a pilot sexually assaulting a flight attendant during a layover in 2010. In a statement, WestJet stated that it was pleased to have reached a settlement.
After posting record revenue in its last quarter, Air Canada said it's expecting to do the same thing when fall comes around. The airline's chief commercial officer shared that prediction with Reuters. Mark Gallardo said Air Canada is preparing for a surge in premium travelers in September and October. He said more of those customers are expected to head to Europe and Asia in those months as they look to avoid the heat and crowds during the summer peak season. Gallardo said a shift to spring and autumn by premium travelers began 2 or 3 years ago, but there hasn't been a similar change in budget passengers' booking habits. Still to come, casting applications are out for Love is Blind Canada. We'll have those details when we come back.
Get Toronto's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
Welcome back. Love is Blind is one of Netflix's most popular reality series, and now it's coming to Canada.
A casting application has been sent out for people interested in participating in the program. For more on this and other topics, we're joined live by Sam East, host with the 99.9 Virgin Radio. This is our weekly segment, Chronically Online. Sam, a Canadian Love is Blind. So what are the show's producers looking for?
Oh, this is exciting. Lots of buzz online about this, of course, because we've been watching Love is Blind in other formats and other places in the world for so long now at this point. But now, finally, open to Canadian residents, Canadian citizens. You have to be 19 years of age or older. You have to be willing to be filmed essentially 24/7. It says right here, Love is Blind Canada. Are you ready to find out if love is truly blind? Calling all singles who are brave, open-minded, and ready for a committed relationship. Apply now. So if you haven't watched the show before, you're essentially in these pods and you get to have chats with a prospective love interest, and you are not revealed to their physical appearance until much later on, until you've made your decision, which has proven to be very interesting for contestants of the show. But now Canadians can be a part of the action. The thing that they stress, though, is you need to be able to film in Toronto for about 2 weeks, and you'll be with about 10 to 40 people in the city, and willing to be recorded with minimal privacy 24/7. That's the big caveat here.
Oh my, I wonder, I bet you they'll be flooded with requests. I mean, I love the idea. I actually have never seen the show, but I kind of understand the premise, and at least it forces people to get to know each other, not just swipe, you know?
Yeah, and those rules, it's interesting because, you know, you're cutting down who's going to apply, because that could be some people's nightmare, being filmed all the time. So you're going to get the right people, you're going to get who you need, and it'll be entertaining. And something that's been entertaining is the Kawhi Leonard saga. Since the trade has been in limbo, he seems to keep popping up all over the city. What can you tell us about this?
Sean, it's almost like Kawhi knows something that maybe we don't, because for a few weeks now, out over the course of the summer, we've been hearing about this investigation, of course. He's supposed to be traded over to be back as a Toronto Raptor from the LA Clippers. But as we know, this investigation into how they possibly circumvented his salary cap has been ongoing, and that's put this whole process on hold. You would think that someone like Kawhi Leonard would be stressed out about this, maybe laying low, but no, he was seen just this week in Toronto enjoying the National Bank Open. There he is time partner, and he was seen watching the games. He was seen getting tennis balls signed by different players that were here for the National Bank Open. So a lot of people online are saying, you know, the fun guy is back. He doesn't seem fazed by this. Does he know something about the investigation that we don't? Because we're all kind of waiting with bated breath to see what's going to happen with this investigation.
Maybe this speaks to, you know, his personality. He was able to make these epic shots in incredible moments. He's chill. Why worry about it?
Unfazed.
Yeah,
Unfazed.
just worry about it when it becomes a problem. I don't know.
Yeah, that might be the approach, or again, we keep kind of digging and hoping like maybe he has a little tidbit of information that's not yet available to the public. That's what people are speculating, at least at this point. Nonetheless, of course, we're hoping that he comes back as a Toronto Raptor, and to see him out and about just enjoying the city, it makes us feel like it's closer as a possibility.
I hear you. Sammy's, thank you so much for stopping by on this Friday.
Thanks for having me.
And remember, you can catch her 2 to 5 on weekdays on 99.9 Virgin Radio. Have a wonderful weekend.
You too.
Well, the newest Spider-Man movie is going for the three-peat at the weekend box office.
But you're in danger. You just have to trust me. Fine.
Deadline reports Spider-Man Brand New Day is forecast to add another $57 to $72 million U.S. this weekend. That's expected to keep it in front of debuting sci-fi title The End of Oak Street, starring Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor. Another movie starring Anne Hathaway, Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, is also looking to hold on to its spot in the top 3. Coming up, training the firefighters of the future. We'll have more on a special camp in Ottawa focused on giving everyone the opportunity to pursue a firefighting career. Future firefighters have been training in Ottawa, learning skills to help keep the public safe and further their careers.
They've been taking part in a special camp aimed at opening the door to firefighting for everyone. CTV's Kimberly Fowler reports.
For Ala Belisel, this isn't just a summer camp. It's a chance to see up close what it's like in a career where representation is changing.
I really like action and whatever, so like jumping out of the window, climbing up the ladder, that was really fun. But I think most of all, it was the discussions we had, woman to woman. We could ask, how was it like being a firefighter as a woman? Because it is different.
Camp Fit, or Future Firefighters in Training, brings together young women and gender-diverse youth between 15 and 19 years old from different backgrounds for a week of hands-on training with Ottawa firefighters.
There are many struggles to being a woman, especially one that's active. You always compare yourself with men and whatever. But they make you feel like it is possible. So you look up to them, like as mentors. I hope to grow up just like them.
Getting a taste of what the job demands, from climbing ladders to auto extraction, forcible entry, and simulated fire calls.
When I was in high school, I didn't know what I wanted to be. So to have the exposure to see that this is a potential thing that I could do is a great opportunity.
Now in its 17th year, the camp initially started here in Ottawa to fill a need for more female firefighters.
One of the challenges that we want to make sure that we rise to is having competent people serving the public. And we felt the best way to approach that was to engage more women and more people from underprivileged communities.
And Camp Fit has become a model for similar firefighter camps across Ontario. Over the years, about 375 participants have gone through the Camp Fit program. 14 of them have gone on to become Ottawa firefighters, with dozens more fighting fires right across the country. And the camp isn't just about learning how to fight fires. It's about discovering what skills will best help each participant in the future and building confidence to achieve any goal.
Being at the camp and showing that it's possible, encouraging them to face fears and do tasks that are hard is something so special. And I love helping people. Like, that's my passion for sure. It doesn't matter. I want to help them.
And for others, it could be the beginning of a path toward becoming a firefighter. Kimberly Fowler, CTV News.
You know, it's funny, anytime I see the firefighters in all their gear, sometimes I'm out at stores, I think of days where the intense heat just has to be too much. Recently, I was at one where you could see them drinking as much water as they can. I hope those folks got as much water as they can for the weather we're having today.
Yeah, it is another hot one today. It feels into the 30s. Temperature's going to near 30 degrees as well. But the weekend does bring a little bit of relief, which is maybe nice for some. Overnight tonight, we are normal as far as the temperature is concerned. 16 degrees, a partly cloudy sky. And then it's a mix of sun and cloud for the day tomorrow, 24 degrees. So yes, a little more comfortable, not feeling into the 30s. It's going to feel more like 27 once you take the humidity into consideration. Let's talk about Sunday, because this is our best chance of seeing some active weather over the weekend, and showers could interfere a little bit with your afternoon plans. That may include the Honda dealers Indy, but the start time of that race is about 12:30. So hopefully 12:22 to be more exact, actually. So hopefully we will miss the active weather. It's on and off wet weather for both Sunday rather, and into Monday, but we are into full sunshine by about Tuesday, with a few showers creeping in end of next week. Sean and Michelle.
Thanks, Lindsay. And that's CTV's News at Noon. Remember, you can get Toronto's breaking news all day long on CB24 and on our website, ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and all of us here, have a pleasant afternoon. I'm Michelle Dubé.
And I'm Sean Leathong. Be sure to join us later at CTV News for CTV News 5 and 6.